I never imagined I'd wake up in a hospital bed with a stranger's jacket draped over my shoulders, my phone buzzing relentlessly on the bedside table. The fluorescent lights above were harsh, slicing through my grogginess, and the sterile scent of antiseptic clawed at my senses. My last memory was a blur. Laughter, music thumping through the floorboards of some apartment I didn't recognize, two strangers leaning in too close, and a cocktail glass that had felt heavier than it should. A sharp knock on the door jolted me upright. My husband's silhouette filled the frame, rigid, his eyes unreadable. "We need to talk," he said, and the weight behind those words pressed down on me harder than any hangover could. I swallowed, my throat dry, and tried to laugh it off. I'm fine. Really. But he didn't move, didn't soften, didn't offer comfort. Instead, he stepped in, closing the door behind him with a deliberate finality. "You're lying," he said simply. No accusations, no shouting, just that cold, precise certainty that left my stomach twisting. And then it hit me. The texts I'd left open on my phone, the screenshots of flirtations I had brushed off as harmless, the messages to and from the strangers from last night. I wanted to explain, to say it wasn't what it looked like, but the words lodged in my throat like shards of glass. I started, then faltered. How could I condense the truth that even I barely understood? How do you explain a night that began as curiosity and spun into reckless abandon? The guilt that washed over me now was tidal, relentless, drowning in the realization that I had fractured something I'd spent years building. He didn't move, just looked at me, that silent judgment in his eyes more potent than any shout. "I can't do this anymore," he said finally, and the words tore through me like a blade. "I trusted you." I wanted to scream, to beg, to reason, but nothing in me had the energy. My mind flickered back to the strangers. The way their smiles had seemed inviting, the way their words had felt like a mirror showing me a version of myself I didn't recognize until too late. I hadn't planned to betray him. I hadn't planned to cross that line. But lines blurred, and I stepped over them anyway. Tears stung my eyes, hot and unrelenting, as I remembered the chaos that followed. The dizzying lights of the ER, the paramedics' voices cutting through my panic, the antiseptic smell mixing with the metallic tang of blood. And through it all, a hollow realization. I had been reckless, careless, selfish, and now my husband, the person I loved more than anything, was leaving me. "I don't understand," I whispered, clutching the hospital sheets like a lifeline. "Why? I made a mistake, yes, but why now?" He shook his head, a single weary movement. "Because trust isn't something you can just patch up with apologies. Not this time." His words were final, irrevocable. He turned toward the door, and for a moment, I thought he might stay, that there was some thread of hope left. But he didn't. He left, and the click of the door echoed through the sterile room like a verdict. I lay back, chest tight, staring at the ceiling as the room spun. Rage, confusion, shame, and heartbreak churned inside me, each emotion cutting deeper than the last. I wanted someone to blame, someone to hold accountable for this spiral. But the truth was brutal and simple. It was me. And yet, even in that self-inflicted ruin, a strange, bitter clarity emerged. I understood the fragility of love, how easily it could fracture, and how small, seemingly innocent choices could cascade into destruction. I realized the magnitude of betrayal wasn't just in the act itself. It was in the subtle erosion of trust, the quiet accumulation of lies, the way a heart could shatter in moments you barely noticed. Hours passed. Nurses moved in and out, monitors beeped rhythmically, and the shadows of the room shifted as the day outside waned. I thought about him, about the life we had shared, and felt an ache that would never fully leave me. And somewhere beneath the layers of guilt and despair, a single question lingered. How do you live with knowing you were the cause of someone's heartbreak, someone who once gave you everything? I knew there would be no easy answers. There would be no quick forgiveness, no instant reprieve. Only the long, raw reckoning with myself, and the haunting knowledge that some mistakes leave scars not just on the body, but on the soul. And maybe, just maybe, that night in the ER would stay with me forever. Not just as a cautionary tale, but as the moment I saw the full weight of my choices reflected back in the eyes of the one person I'd broken. If you've ever found yourself caught between desire and destruction, between curiosity and the sanctity of love, subscribe to my channel. We'll explore these tangled emotions together, and maybe, just maybe, find a way to navigate the heartbreak without losing ourselves entirely.